At the beginning of 2017, I was made homeless for the first time at 17 years old. Now I'm almost reaching 25 years old. I've spent the majority of my adulthood homeless. Now that's pretty astonishing to think about, to be honest with you. How could I spend so much time homeless and, to be honest, not end up as bad as some other people? Well, a lot of people who come to my channel experience homelessness and they come and see what I did, basically. So I thought I'd make this quick video just to explain a few tips and pointers on, well, how I got myself out of homelessness. Yeah, I think that's a good title. So when I was 17 years old, I'd only just passed my driving test the month before when I was made homeless. I passed my driving test in December 2016. Now, lucky for me, I had a car. I bought myself a car. It cost me £400 and it was a Peugeot 206. So when I was made homeless, I went to go and live in my car. Now, I could have sat around my life and gone, oh, worries me, life sucks. But instead, I decided to pick myself up a delivery driving job. I started delivery driving, working cash in hand, saving up every penny I could at 17 years old, whilst finishing college from the back seat of my car. People at college, and people who watch these videos today, who I went to college with, didn't know I was homeless at the time because I did a pretty good job of hiding it. Now, that does suck, to be honest with you, because you're meant to talk to others around you about being homeless, but I didn't. I kept it to myself. Now, working cash in hand worked really well for me. I would do takeaway delivery driving, I'd save up every single penny, and I would then sometimes get free food at the end of the day with it, which worked great. Now, when you fast forward a bit of time, what did I do and how did I actually get myself out of homelessness? Because those who are knowledgeable of this channel, I lived in a storage unit, I lived in a van, I lived in a caravan, I lived in a garage, I've lived in an office, which wasn't on camera. I slept on the sofa in an office. I've even lived in a barber shop. So how did I overcome all of that? Well, the simple thing is saving and investing. I've always lived like I was poor, and that goes back to when I was young. Now, why did I live like I was poor? Because if I lived like a lavish lifestyle, then I wouldn't get anywhere. I'd be spending all my money. So back then I would shop at Primark and I'd buy the cheapest clothes. I'd buy £2 t-shirts. I would, as I said, I got my food majority for free from working takeaway delivery jobs, and I saved every penny. I started investing the money into the Trading 212 app. In fact, I've got a decent amount in there today. I started saving every single penny and building up my investments and working in, not cryptocurrency, but I did Forex trading. I started trading in currencies. Now, pre-lockdown, that worked really well. Unfortunately, lockdown, it crashed. I did lose a bit, I won't lie. However, I have recovered on the other side of it. So I saved all my money and I invested all of my money because that's what I had to do. Did I ever take out any loans whilst homeless? Because I know a lot of people do. No, I didn't, and there is a very good reason for that. Because I lived in my car, I often got parking fines while sleeping in my car. I'd park in car parks. Now, parking in car parks isn't always the best thing, but I woke up sometimes and there were people staring in my window at me, and I didn't like that, so I found secure car parks. The issue with this was I got parking fines. Now, the parking fines weren't plastered on the car, the parking fines were sent through the post. Now, I wasn't in contact with my parents at that point in time, so they spiraled out of control and I ended up with county court judgments, aka CCJS. I had 5 CCJs, in fact I've probably had about 9 over the time, but I've paid some off before they got any further, but I have 5 majority ones that have stuck on my credit score and they stay there for up to 6 years. So you can't take out any loans whilst you have CCJs. Now, to this day, 4 of them are successfully paid off, they are satisfied, and 1 of them is not because I'm unable to satisfy it. But that's okay because it expires very soon. So I'm going to have a completely clear credit file. Now, do I recommend taking out loans whilst homeless? No. What do I recommend doing? Honestly, if you have a car, sleep in it. I'll make more videos on this in the future. But I just want people to know that living in a car, there's nothing to be ashamed of. Living in a storage unit, there's nothing to be ashamed of. Heck, I just filmed my life. I ended up living in a storage unit, I filmed it, and I made some decent money from YouTube from it. I was very lucky with that retrospect. And again, going back to the worries me section, A lot of people, when they become homeless, they go to the council, and I did go to the council, and the council turned around and told me that they weren't going to house me because the roof was a car over my head. Thank you very much, West Sussex. So it's not like I could get housed anyway because of the council, and luckily to this day, the council that I went to in West Sussex, the specific council, all the staff got fired. So the staff that I tried to get a property with then don't exist. They don't work there anymore, so it may be different for other people. Homelessness is a very difficult thing, and a lot of people suffer with it worldwide. Now, to get through it realistically is to keep upbeat about it. Shower at swimming pools like I did, and to be honest with you, I snuck into quite a few. There's videos on this channel of me sneaking into swimming pools. But you have to do what you got to do. You buy the cheapest products, you live as cheap as possible, and you save every single penny. And when you've got enough for a deposit for a place, then brilliant, go and get yourself a home. But then you've got to remember the cost of bills, but hopefully once you've got an address, you'll be able to get an additional job as well as your delivery driving job, because to be honest, delivery driving pays pretty well. You can get an extra job because you'll have an address and you'll have a bank account, and you can earn some more money to support yourself. Now, I could have done that back then. I could have. I lived in my car, I saved up the money, and I could have done that, but I chose not to do that, to be honest. I ended up living in a storage unit to save more money, and I then put that money into a van. I then used that van and I travelled the country. Any leftover money that I had from delivery driving, because I did a lot of delivery driving, I worked lots of different takeaways all over the country actually, I used that money and I travelled. I went and gained experiences and knowledge of other countries, and to this day I've been to 22 countries. Again, I could have sat homeless, sad, on the side of the road, and unfortunately lots of people do become addicts of some sort. I'm very lucky that that didn't happen to me because, to be honest, that sort of stuff has never interested me. Yes, depression did take over, I won't lie. Being homeless was extremely depressing and I went through a lot. No, depression was really bad. And I ended up going clubbing. I'd go clubbing on a Thursday night in Brighton, where it was £1 entry and £1 drinks. I'd go with a couple of friends and I'd drink my depression away. And that wasn't healthy, and yes, I could have turned to alcohol even more. And I'm very lucky that I didn't. I know a lot of people do struggle with these sorts of things. So if there's anything you can take away from this video, and I understand that I've not slept on the streets permanently, I've not, had to find a piece of cardboard and sleep on the streets. Yes, I've done videos sleeping on the street. Yes, I've travelled and slept on the streets in other countries. But if you can take anything away from this video, get yourself a roof over your head. And by that I mean anything. Any sort of vehicle, a storage unit, absolutely anything. Just pick up the most menial job and just save every single penny. Put it into a pot, put it into the bank, put it into the stock market, and just start watching your investments grow, seriously. Yes, the stock market is volatile and it's very scary, especially when you've got very little money, but sometimes it pays off, and for me it did. So, please, everybody, if you are homeless and you have found this video, I don't want to say my homeless life was glamorous, because it wasn't. My books from college would freeze. I got ill living in the cold in the car. My battery on my car died most nights, and I'd have to call out the recovery to come and jumpstart me when I was parked in garages or a car park or wherever. I've slept in a garage because I had to. I woke up on Easter morning in a garage with no family around. I lived in a storage unit. And even though they're great memories to have, they are life lessons for me to hopefully not end up back there. Now, at my current point in life, I don't ever plan on being homeless, but I do plan on taking away the experiences I learned from it. And by the experiences, I mean living frugally. Okay, I don't shop at Primark anymore, so I don't wear the cheap clothes anymore. In fact, this jumper is from Marks & Spencer's, and I've had it a couple of years, but it lasts. Okay, I don't eat the cheapest foods, but I do still shop at Farm Foods because Farm Foods is reasonably priced. Okay, I'm not a delivery driver to this day, but I have been a delivery driver even this year because it pays. Delivery driving always pays. It's always an income, and it's very difficult these days actually. Being a delivery driver with Uber Eats and Deliveroo and Just Eat taking over, it is a more difficult industry to get into, but I was lucky that I've been able to work at takeaway places which don't use those. So to round off this video, I will be making more videos about homelessness. I will be making videos about how to successfully live in your car, maybe how to successfully live in a storage unit, and how to find a garage to live in. If you can get a car, even if it's got no insurance and no MOT, and you don't even have a license, sleeping in anything is better than nothing. Legally, if a car is taxed, it can be parked on the side of the road. All you have to do is pay the tax. Think about that. And I know that because I lived in a van. Adios, my amigos, and I shall see you guys all in the next video. I do hope you've enjoyed this brief summary of, well, homelessness. Goodbye.
The end.
Like this video!